Hey, and welcome back to Sorry Moms YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do it. My name is Rasmus, and today we're gonna talk about how much does a tattoo cost. So how much does a tattoo cost? It depends. Pricing a tattoo is like pricing a house. It can cost from almost nothing to crazy amounts of money. It all depends on a few factors such as size, placement, level of details, who's the artist, what studio is it. Basically, there is two ways of pricing a tattoo. The most common one and the most old school one is by the hour. Artist and shop has a fixed rate for an hour, and that's what you pay. So if your tattoo takes 5 hours, you pay 5 hourly rates. If it takes 8 hours, you paid for 8 hours. Often the hourly rate is around $100, $150. But again, this is, it can range from anything from $50 to $300. The second option, which I personally like the most, is the fixed rate. With a fixed rate, you know what you pay, you know what you're getting, the artist knows what he's getting or she's getting, and she knows what to do. It means that if the preparation takes 15 minutes more, or if you as a client or if you as an artist requires an extra break, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change the price, it doesn't change the end result. And personally, I feel that's a good way to do it, because it gives me confidence in knowing that my tattoo is gonna be what I want it to be, and I'm gonna pay the price that we agreed upon. And it also eliminates this stressful, annoying situation after you get your tattoo and the artist is saying, oh, it's gonna be $150 more, and you're standing there and you're like, you wanna pay it, but that's not what you felt like. Personally, I enjoy and prefer the second option with a fixed price, because it gives peace of mind for both artists and for the client. When considering getting a tattoo and when looking at prices of tattoos, it's important to understand and remember that getting a tattoo is a permanent decision. Therefore, it's really, really important that you don't settle for less, that you don't go with the necessarily cheapest option, because it might not be the best one. It's also important that you do your research, that you think it through, and that you don't necessarily just go with the most expensive choice, because it can also be hyped and not necessarily a better result. So be wise, be smart, do your research, ask for a lot of prices, get quotes from different studios, ask your friends, and then pick the right decision. I think we've all been there where we took a decision based on only pricing. For example, I know it myself with getting a haircut, a cheap haircut. Often it's a bad haircut for me, and I always end up regretting it. Good thing with the hair is that it grows out. With a tattoo, you can't change it. Picking an artist and getting a tattoo based on pricing alone can cause headache and more costs in the long run, because you will get a tattoo that might give blowouts, it might heal up badly, it might look bad in a few years, and then you suddenly need to cover it up, you need laser treatments, and it's gonna be a way more costly affair than actually doing the right thing when you got your tattoo. There are a few things that affects the price of a tattoo that is easy for us to understand and see, is of course size, placement, final result, amount of details. But those things that you can't see when you look at the tattoo might be, where is the shop located? How is the shop equipped? Is it nicely set up with nice furniture? What is it? Is it placed on an expensive street? Is it a hyped shop? Is it a hyped artist? Is it like getting a Supreme tattoo? What is it? And those are factors that has a role when it comes to the pricing of a tattoo. But what you pay for when you get a tattoo is of course the time that you spend with your artist. If it's the time and energy that the shops put into your tattoo, but it's also the know-how and the experience that the artist has, because a lot of artists, they start an apprenticeship and they work their asses off for years without necessarily getting paid. So you pay for their expertise, like what you pay if you're getting professional help from a lawyer or from accountant or all those professionals. So how much should you pay for a tattoo? It's very difficult. It's not set in stone, but I have some guidelines, some golden rules that I always recommend. And I've been working in this space for almost 10 years now. To try to give an overview, I've put the tattoos into 3 brackets, 3 categories: small, medium, and large tattoos. And then we will have a 4th one, which is, let's call them hyped tattoos, with these very expensive artists and very expensive shops. Small tattoos that are small tattoos that can be done within, say, 15 minutes to 1 hour, often varies from around $100 up to a few $100s. Sometimes less, sometimes more. It all depends if it's a flash, if it's an apprentice, or what it is. A few examples for small tattoos can be like my little LA tattoo, and I think that one would, in an average shop in LA, would probably cost 60 bucks, maybe 100. It depends if the shop has a minimum. In most shops, they do have around 100 bucks minimum. So yeah, let's place this one at $100. You can also get bigger within that minimum price range. Medium-sized tattoos starts from, say, $250 and goes up to $500 or $600. A medium-sized tattoo can be something like my light bulb here, or could be a variation of some smaller tattoos. The medium bracket can obviously vary a lot, and again, it all depends on those other factors, whether it's a medium priced tattoo or what it is. If we look at the last category, the larger tattoos, it's mainly tattoos that has a size and requires an amount of time for the artist that is what they can do within a day, a full day. For example, this will be categorized as a large tattoo. I think this tattoo took 6-7 hours of work and was done in Philadelphia, and the price for a tattoo like that is around $1,000. It can also vary from, say, $600 from a newer artist or a shop that isn't very expensive up to, say, $2,000 for a day session. There are studios that does day sessions cheaper. There are also studios that does day sessions more expensive. One thing that is also worth mentioning is that if we're looking into projects of, say, full sleeve back pieces, bodysuits, larger projects that takes multiple sessions to complete, then pricing is again a different thing. Some artists will quote you a price for a full back piece. Some artists will quote you for a day session or an hourly rate. And often when you talk about these very big projects, there will be a discounted rate on these. And the reason for these many rates or many sessions being a little bit cheaper than a standard rate is obvious, because the artist knows that, say it's a back piece, that he has you for, say, 8 sessions. So he knows you're gonna come back 7 more times after the first session. And also these bigger projects are often very fun for the artist to do, because it's a good reference picture to have to showcase what you can actually do when you have all possibilities. Then I also mentioned the last category, the hype tattoos. And those are very difficult to price, because that can be from anything to anything. And what you pay for with those hype tattoos will be the status. And for me, there's no logical sense in, say, paying $3,000 for a day session with anyone. But again, that's my personal opinion. So what do you have to pay for a tattoo? It's very, very difficult to, set in stone. But I will say that pay a price that you feel comfortable with, but also that you feel is a big decision, because it is a big decision getting a tattoo. It's permanent, it's gonna sit there forever, and you wanna make the right decision. So if it feels like you're shopping a pair of shoes on sale, that's not how you should be shopping your tattoos. You should feel comfortable with the decision, also with the price you pay for your tattoo. So to sum it up and to try to answer the question of how much does a tattoo cost, I'm sorry that I don't have a precise answer, but I hope these few golden nuggets that we gave can be helpful. Remember that there are 2 price variations. One is a fixed price and one is an hourly rate, or a fixed rate for a day session. But also remember that what you pay for is what you get. How much time does it take? That can vary depending on the size of the tattoo, the amount of details, how much experience does the artist have, supply demand, how much booked out is this artist? Is it difficult to get an appointment? And yeah, I will say be smart about it. If it seems too cheap, I'm very sure that it is too cheap. If it seems unrealistic, very, very expensive, and something you don't want to pay, don't do it. So make sure that you have a good gut feeling about what you do with your tattoo project and what price you pay for it. But getting a cheap tattoo is often a very bad idea. And getting a cheap tattoo that needs laser treatment or that needs a cover-up is gonna turn out as a very expensive tattoo. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, share it with your friends. If you have any questions about tattoo prices, leave them below. I'm sure that we will be able to answer the best we can, or maybe someone else in the tattoo community wants to come with their opinion on tattoo prices. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe, share. Adios.